Welcome to Tuesday Truth. I'm Andrew, your host, and today we're diving into the most powerful moments from this week's conversation with this week's amazing, inspiring guest. These are clips, but they're also insights that'll change how you see your own journey. So let's get right into it.
Oh gosh, I was a binge eater for as long as I can remember. I always remember my gran used to look after me quite a lot because my mum was always working as I was a child. And she used to have this like biscuit tin, and it was like, I don't know if you remember them from back in the day, it was like a clear glass one with like a red lid. And I used to love it. And it was just full of Maryland cookies. Like, I absolutely loved Maryland cookies. And I remember she used to say to me, right, you can only have 2 after your dinner. That was like it was tea. I used to say tea back then, the northern slang.
Yeah.
And I always remember I used to take 2 out and she'd see me, and then when she wasn't looking, I'd take more biscuits from the tin and put them in my pockets. And I would literally go and eat them and then nearly make myself sick. And this was at such a young age. Like, this was probably about 5 or 6 years old back then. And obviously when you're a kid, you don't really know what you're doing, right? You haven't got a clue. And I remember that's how I think my addiction started. This binge eating addiction that I had. And it was only when I got to, when did I heal from that? 29, 30, 31. Yeah. And that was when I went on my own fitness journey.
So that you said healing from that at 29, 30, what point did you get to in your food journey then?
The moment I realised I had a real problem was when I used to fly around the world. I used to fly long haul. I used to go to LA quite a lot. And they used to have like the biggest bag of Cheetos. Oh my God, obsessed. Even to this day, they are my guilty pleasure. I do have to, I can't have them in the house. I remember being in LA, and I think I was quite depressed at some point, because there was one particular trip, and I've been dating this guy, and he basically treated me like crap, right? I allowed it. I take full responsibility for that. And he ended up I think he finished with me. Something must have happened, and he just said, look, I don't want to see you anymore. So I went on this trip to LA, and I went to the shop and I bought these massive bag of Cheetos. And I remember staying in my room pretty much the whole 2 nights of when we was in LA, and just binged on Netflix and just ate chocolate and these big bag of Cheetos. And it was when I was coming back and I thought, I don't feel okay. Like, this isn't normal. Like, this isn't healthy. Like, you need to sort yourself out, because you don't like your appearance. You don't go to the gym. Like, what are you doing with your life? And I think that was a real turning point for me.
Yeah. It's that pleasure hit, isn't it? That dopamine that we think we need all the time. I've got rid of sugar quite a few times. We've just got rid of sugar again. We've just gone on a complete for our kids, because that's the flip side of that. You've just said about 5, 6 being addicted to that. I feel like also complete bans. I feel like my children are going to become more addicted to it because we've done a complete ban. Like tonight, even at dinner, my son was like, there's nothing up there. I'm like, yeah, we got rid of rubbish, mate. We're going cold turkey till like Christmas, mate. And he went, there's not even a bag of chips, though. That's how the Aussies talk. There's not even a bag of chips. Yeah, I was like, that's rubbish, though, mate. There's no rubbish. You're not hearing me. And he can't comprehend there's no shit. The poor kid. So I get it. I really do. And it's horrible. Food is a whole new podcast, I think, Bec, that I didn't plan for. So we could be there all day. Look, we're dying. We've already normally dug into what you're doing for a living, because that's how you're leading your own way. And you've tied it up really quite nicely in the journey we're going to go on. Tell us a little bit about what you do. And you said you started a business 3 years ago. You handed your notice in at the big airline that you worked for. Where did you then take it?
Oh gosh, so for those that don't know me, my name is Bec. I am a mindset consultant, timeline therapist, and the founder of Limitless Academy, which is my ever-growing monthly membership. And I decided to start my business as a health coach because I wanted to help other women feel good within their own skin and obviously overcome binge eating.
But crisis, do you believe we need to go through a level of crisis to make change, if that makes sense? Because I read a quote and it's from that book and I started to use it, but change often occurs when the pain of staying the same is greater than the pain of making a change. What are your thoughts around that?
Do you know, it's a very, very good question, and I've had, I guess, different opinions and views on this as I've gone through my journey. Now, I know, and again, I always teach from experience, not just from textbook, but I know from my personal experience, if I hadn't have reached that level of low, let's just say, I wouldn't be doing what I'm doing today.
Me too, yeah, totally.
And I think, you know, it's not nice going through the challenges and the hard times because it's painful and it hurts. Is there another way? In my opinion, if there was another way, you'd be going that way. And I think that's where you've got to have trust in the process of it and know that whatever is coming your way that is challenging, it's coming to you for a reason because it wants to help you, right? I truly have this connection, like I said, with the divine, the universe, like whatever you want to call it. And every situation now, I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm operating from a very different level of consciousness. Like my consciousness back then, I was what I call asleep. I wasn't awake. I wasn't awake to this world and this energy and, you know, the belief and, you know, working with the divine. I wasn't awake to any of that. I was very much a victim. When when you start to change your perception, and you do this by 1% shifts, it's not something where you just wake up one day and oof, you're a different person, right? I do believe in miracles, but I don't believe in that. I think it takes evolution, it takes time, it takes, you know, determination, grit, all of these things. But I do believe there is a level of power in the pain. And that's when I help my clients and I teach from a place of turn your pain into your power. It doesn't have to be like, you don't have to be victimized by it.
Agreed. Yeah, because I mean, I went through my journey with you, but my workplace bullying wasn't enough, even though it was so much pain, and I never experienced anything like that before in my life. I never thought people would go to that length to destroy someone's soul. But that wasn't enough. Even though I was on the rock bottom, I always believe you can dig a little bit deeper into your rock bottom, right? You can get that hammer somehow and find a deeper hole. And then, you know, I found myself in another toxic environment, which I thought I'd really worked through, and that empowered me to get this powerful, beautiful job that I always wanted. And then found myself in another toxic environment and went down again, hence the eating, hence the staying up late. And it still wasn't enough, even though I thought I couldn't get any lower. But then 30 minutes away from potentially being in a coma due to septic shock, that to me was I mean, if you're not going to come back from that, you actually probably just should have left and gone. But you know what I mean? Does that make sense? Like where I'm coming from? Yeah. That's why I think I resonate with that quote so much. It's actually from it's a book called Live Like a Lobster. It's like looking at the longevity genes in lobsters. Yeah. And I'm going to interview the author to that book as well. She's absolutely incredible.
And again, these are always people that are not in my business world, if you like these are like, I'm talking about friends who I've grown up with that, you know, do have their 9-to-5 job and their salary and everything else like that. And when she said to me, she's like, so how much is it for, like, you know, a program to come and work with you? Because she's clearly struggling with a bit of imposter syndrome. She wants to do something new, but she doesn't know how or where to start. She's not got the belief. And I said to her, well, it depends on the level of transformation that you want. I said, I offer breakthrough sessions, which is like an hour with me, where we will get one shift and one breakthrough. Or if you're an all-in kind of girl and you're like me and you want to work with speed and you're done wasting more time, then it's $3,000 for my 3-month program as it stands today. And she was like, I'm sorry, what? How much? And I understand, because that tells me the level of consciousness someone's operating from. Right, in the sense of they see that as absolutely extortionate to pay to work on themselves. Now, there's 2 elements to this that I always kind of think about is I have spent thousands in my education, right, to become one of the best timeline therapists, to become, you know, the best EFT practitioner, NLP that I can be, you know, all of my business mentorship that I've invested in, branding, marketing, perfecting my skill set, time, energy, dedication. Like I dedicate my whole life to my work and my life purpose by choice, right? I love what I do. But then people don't think twice about booking a luxury holiday. They don't think twice about getting a mortgage. They don't think twice about getting a car, because I'm telling you now, if someone's car tyres, all of them went in one day, they'd be down at the garage and they would spend money on their tyres to get them from A to B. And I see that as my mindset, right? If I invest in my mind is a thing that gets me from A to B in life. And if I want to live a very limitless life, right, how that looks to me, that's that inner freedom, I would invest double that. And I think it's changing people's perception on that. You know, I mean, luckily I don't have clients that come to me and go, oh, I can't afford that, that's too much, because they see the client transformations that I post. They see my own journey, like I openly share how I've gone from this to this, and people want that because life is so bloody short and we waste it so much on not believing in ourselves and not having the confidence to go and do the thing, you know? So it can sometimes be a little bit, I guess when she said that to me, I just thought, you have no idea what I've put into this, into my work. Right, people don't see that, because it's like with a uni degree. You have people signing up for uni degrees left, right and centre. No, doesn't bat an eyelid. But when it's investing in yourself, because in my opinion, people say to me, is it going to work? And I always say, if you think you can or you think you can't, you're right. Right, I know I can get my client results, but you've got to meet me halfway. Like, does timeline therapy work? I know it works because I've got enough evidence within my own journey and all of my clients. But the thing is, are you open to it?
That's right.
Because the mind's very clever. No, the mind's very clever. It wants to prove you right. The unconscious mind always wants to prove you right. So like I said, if you think you can or you think you can't, you're right.
Well, and I mean, that's the reason why I've stopped trying to prove other people wrong and try and prove myself right.
Yeah.
On this journey alone. How did that conversation end then? How did she walk away from that? What you just witnessed is only a snippet of our amazing conversation this week. This is what Leading Our Own Way is all about. Real stories, real transformation. If you're watching this before Wednesday, part 1 dropped yesterday and part 2 releases tomorrow. But if you're already here after Wednesday, all parts are available now. Head to YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts and every other major platform and look for the numbers on the bottom left-hand corner of the episode's covers to start with part 1. Trust me, you don't want to miss this incredible journey.